Okay, I think we're on time. Here it is starting. All right. Hi, my name is Jennie Breeden, and I do the Devil's Panties. And so this is the live stream that we're doing on May 21st, 2014. It's probably listed on your page anyway. So this is a monthly live stream, and I'm going to be drawing tomorrow's comic, so it's going to be a spoiler. And of course, somebody tries to call me right now. That's going to be fabulous. Okay. So, I'm glad I took the phone out of the room. All right. So what we're going to do is I've got my comments open. So if you'd like to have any comments or questions, you can comment on, or you can ask me questions on either YouTube or on Twitter. If you do @Jennie Breeden, then you can ask me questions and I'll try to answer those. Or if you're on YouTube, then you can comment in the comment section. And I hope, yeah, I think that the comment section I'm able to see, and I'll be able to answer some of your questions. All right, so first we're going to make sure that this is on, because I'm not totally sure it is. Because I don't, oh, okay, we're good. I'm not the best with technology, considering I make a living at a webcomic. Technology has some issues with me, or I have some issues with technology. All right, fantastic. We have some people commenting. Audio, so we've got, Serenity says audio, then video. Is the audio and video not syncing? Let me make sure that we've got all the technical stuff set up before we start getting into the drawing, because my brain will leave my body. Audio and not syncing. Okay, ask that question. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, we'll switch over. I'll start setting up. Oh, so no, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that, so I wanted to show you my process. When I usually use Evernote, and I get a cartoon idea, then I write it down in Evernote and I take an audio note, because it's usually just Obi and I going, oh my god, so that one thing happened. Or I use Heard, which is an app where you can turn it on. And if I go to the Renaissance Festival or something, I'll turn it on and put my phone in my pocket, and then when something funny happens, I'll take the phone out and press save, and it will have saved the last 5 minutes. And I had the cartoon about trying to use a porta-john at a Renaissance Festival, and then when I came out of the porta-john, I said, there's a lot of, faith and dexterity that, you have to put in when using a porta-john. I was like, oh, that was a cute saying, and I pressed the save button. And as I'm going through the audio notes, I realize, I'm listening to one of the audio notes and it saved the last 5 minutes, and I'm going, I don't understand what I'm listening to. And then I realized I had an audio recording of using a porta-john. So yeah, sometimes it backfires because you record stuff you didn't realize you were recording. Let me double check the comments. Okay, we're all good. Making sure, let me know if there's any technical difficulties. Let's see, so, okay, and the video went up. Okay, cool, so I think we're good. So then when I have the audio recordings, I'll go through and listen to them, and I'll write down the ones that seem to make good, adequate comics, and then I'll print out a bunch of panels, and I'll take a pen and I'll do a little. So spoilers. This is tomorrow's comic. I'll go through and I'll have little stick figures of the comic, and Obi will put a little check next to the ones that he thinks are funny. And he'll put a squiggly next to the ones that he's like, well, we need to do some work. And then he'll put an X next to the ones where he's like, no, these aren't funny at all. And I'm taking the ones with X's are the extra comics, and I'm putting them up on Patreon and Bonus Booty, and so you can see the stick figures of the bonus comics there. So what I did just now, this afternoon, was then I went through and I did the sketches of them. And so for this comic, I really didn't know what kind of facial expression for the punchline Obi was going to have. And he mentioned that he should be smiling in this last panel. So then I flesh out the stick figures. Okay. And so now I have this template. Let me show you my screen. I have this, come on. I have this template that I use. So I put, what are you? Okay. I put the text, and I've got all of the panels. Some of my standard template has a panel layer and a text layer and a word balloon layer. And I've got all of my the URL and the copyright information down there at the bottom. Because, man, it sucks when something goes viral and it doesn't have a link to back to your page on there. And sometimes it has a link to somebody else's page, which is just ever so exciting. And then I have my ink layer. So this is the stick figures that I put together, and then the next level is the sketches. And I have to make a note. I think I'm going to add on here that Obi's supposed to be smiling in the last one. So he has a ironic smile. Ooh, ironic smile. So, and that's going to be interesting. Remind me that he's supposed to have a smile. So apparently this was a conversation he had online when he was talking to some gamers about, I think it was Denver, wherever they legalized pot. Alright, so we can get some questions, comments, concerns. If you have any, you can either ask them on Twitter, at Jennie Breeden, or you can ask questions on YouTube, the comment section. And let's see. Okay, so I think so far the most recent question was from Serenity, storyboarding. Okay, and I might try to do an octo later on. So if you have any questions about conventions or comics or the universe, I've been told the answer is 42, but I'm not quite, you know, they tried to develop the technology for the question, but I heard that there was some red tape, some bureaucracy that got in the way on getting that grant fulfilled. I hear they cut the funding to the science department. So my pen, while we're doing this streaming, for some reason my pen has gotten hypersensitive, so I'm not used to it. So everything might be a little bit wonky. Oh, that's not, okay. So word balloon here. So I'm using Manga Studios. I usually set everything up in Photoshop, and I really liked the pens. Wow, I need to figure out how to do my resolution. Honey, I don't know how to check my resolution. Connect to sync color. No, I don't think that's what I want. Oh, we'll see how this goes. Okay. So let's see. I got a whole bunch of bonus comics and everything set up for the bonus booty. And I dug up all of my Renaissance Festival videos and photos. No, I didn't want that. feeling a little ham-handed with some of this. I think because I have this, this extra screen open, so I can play with it. So I can keep everything separate. And I think it's messing with my brush speed. I looked at a little video, quick pre-video, and I went, ooh, I need to keep my mouth closed because I just sit here drawing. I had tails going to the left and right in the first panel. I start paying attention to where I have the tail of the word balloon going, and I try not to have too much repetition of the same direction. This might take a while. Whew. There we go. Well, that's not what I wanted. I think I was talking about something. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, so yeah, I've got the bonus comics set up for Bonus Booty and Patreon, and then we went back through and found all of the extra comics for 2013 because we're putting together the book, book 8. And I said, well, I'll just throw all of these stick figure comics in the back of the book. And Obi was like, no, you should fully draw them and we'll put them in to the book. I was like, but that sounds like work. Oh, so Obi talked me into drawing a bunch of extra comics for book 8. So that means it might take a while. But we got that bonus stuff. And then we're going to Dallas. We go to Dallas for A-Con, not next week, but the week after. And I've been listening to Dune, so I love getting some books on tape to listen to while I ink, because my brain turns off and I get really bored and I don't want to ink anymore. And I'm a sucker for the strong female detective who falls in love with a werewolf, and oh, it's such junk. I love it. Patricia Briggs and Elena Andrews have some wonderfully strong, not necessarily perfect leading ladies, which is a lot of fun to listen to. So Obi's been trying to get me to broaden my horizons beyond the science fiction fluff, the urban fantasy fluff. So I have Dune, and I think I'm almost pretty far through it. He's 18 and has a kid and is, sorry, spoilers. And I keep comparing it to the movie that I saw when I was little, which I need to go back and watch. The old movie, not the recent one. Because now that I look at the actor, it has Jean-Luc Picard in it as one of the characters, and Sting shows up as one of the bad guys. So I need to go back and watch this once I'm done with the book. Double check that I'm on the right layer. Save early and often. Let's see. And then, okay, so there was an actor in the old 1980s, late 80s, early 90s maybe, Dune movie, and the main actor, what I know him most from is Sex and the City. I know, so he plays the the rich family brain surgeon who marries the really perfect brunette lady in Sex and the City. And I kind of was like, wow, that's an accurate portrayal. I'm having a lot of trouble with my screen resolution because this thing is hypersensitive. And I kind of want to call Obi to save me. But one would think I'd have control over my own art tools. He wanted to mess with the screen resolution, and I was like, oh no, it's not going too slow, it's going too fast. So I think that the actor who they got for Dune, who is royal family barony leading resistance, and then later on the actor goes on to play rich New York family with overbearing mother. Very appropriate. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like some people, how is it that everybody has heard that there is a video thing going on? So I want to make sure that I get the correct notification out to people, because it seems that we have fewer people show up. I forgot to put the notification on the front page. I think Obi and I will every once in a while say, ooh, we need to do this thing. And then we both forget to do it. Poor computer. He's running a little warm. And I'm going to send a quick question. Well, I don't know if it's screen resolution that's causing some of my pen delicacies. I'm just blaming it on the tools. So I had there was mention in the comment section on YouTube about Dresden Files, and I listened to the first book on tape, and I want to say that the audio, the guy who reads it reads some of the Dune. They have an actual cast for different parts of Dune, and I haven't quite figured out the rhyme and reason to what actors read what parts. But the same guy who I want to say reads for the Dresden books also reads for some of the characters in Dune. So I think that's very appropriate. And I need to go back and listen to more of books on tape of Dresden Files. Oh, yeah, well, it'll be fine. And I should probably not put my pen in my mouth. Because I don't actually wash it. And our hands are filthy, filthy hands. Of course, I don't go out very much, so I'm not bringing anything in with me. Yeah, we save a lot on laundry because we wear pajamas all day. It's awesome. I need to remember that Obi has really small ears, and I shouldn't draw his ears as big as I draw everybody else's. Oh, good. The Patreon members are getting notices in their subscriptions, so that's awesome. And I should post more on Twitter to make sure that everybody sees that we're doing this. And I think next time I'm going to shoot for 8:30 so the lighting doesn't change. I need to go figure out when the sun goes down. Murphy's Law. I'm going to have to write that down. That someone on YouTube said that Murphy's Law is a good one. Save early and often. Make sure I'm drawing on the right layer. I have inked most of a comic on the pencil layer, which sucks because then the pencils get in the way. I got to see the original covers to the first Action Comic Superman when cut and paste was a literal thing. You can see where they've redrawn something on a piece of paper and they've cut it out and pasted it onto the comic page. And anywhere where they've used whiteout, it's still white. All the pages have yellowed, but the whiteout is still white. It was fascinating. Oh wow! Edward says that that Dune is 49 years old and the spoiler policy has expired. You never know. Obi hasn't seen Fight Club yet. We have it in our Netflix DVD thing. We just need to go plug in the Xbox and watch it. So no spoilers about Fight Club. What was it? Somebody was interviewing a guy when they redid Hitchcock's. What was the one? The guy in the hotel and his mom. So the guy that they redid it. He was being interviewed, and he gave away the punchline. And they said, well, everybody already knows the punchline. And I said, well, I didn't until now, although I still haven't. I want to say I saw the opening to Hitchcock's original when the lady is driving along and she pulls over to take a nap and the cop pulls over. Maybe I think it was the cop pulls her over because she's weaving, because she's falling asleep. Oh, little lady out driving by herself. My, that's dangerous. Apparently hotel rooms are dangerous. Oh, cool. There's I didn't realize. So Samantha says that she was notified about the video through her YouTube subscription. I forgot that I have something available to have a YouTube subscription. I have not moved to Portland yet. So we know the apartment complex that we like, and I've got a storage unit that we're filling up. We still haven't packed as much as we probably should. So I have to work on the garage and more of the merchandise. But we're still waiting on a third party to finish up. Oh, that's not good. So we're just waiting on the third party to finish up the house stuff. We have no control over finding out when we can actually move. But yes, we are headed to Portland at some point. We've been headed to Portland since October, so I don't really believe this is going to happen. I'm going to be really surprised when it does, because we have been in a holding pattern for several months now. Psycho. Thank you. I was not going to be able to pull that out of my brain. I don't know why. These fingers are funky. My poor overheated computer. So Serenity says that they haven't seen a lot of the classics, considering that they're a film student. I lucked out, so I went to college for comic books, and my housemate, so the second year of college, I left the dorms because, oh my god, no. And got an apartment, and, or, you know, it was the bottom half of a house. It was Ponce? Oh, I used to know the cross street in Savannah that I lived, and one of, I can't remember how, it was one of the other guys in the dorms. We said, hey, we need to split this 3-bedroom house. And so 2 guys took one room, and a friend of mine took the other room, and I took the third. And one of the guys, when he was like 17, his dad helped him open a comic book store. And so he still had, all along the wall of his room, was just a row of long boxes, just huge amounts of comic books. And I was majoring in comic books, and so I called it my required reading. There was a couple of comics that he had that I'm really glad he had, so I could read them without having to go buy them, because wow, Cerebus is an epic series. Okay, I want to have, if Obi is on my left, okay, so he'd be behind me in this panel. So I need to shrink him down. Perspective. Oh no, not the inks. Okay, I've got to go to pencils. Shrink him down a bit. So I was able to read. Now, required reading was Mouse and Dark Knight Returns. Make sure I'm not inking on the pencil layer. Save early, save often. Some of the comments got weird. So let's see. We were required, oh, Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud was on my reading list. And then, because I had this housemate with a comic shop's worth of comics, I was able to read, he had From Hell, and I just couldn't keep up with it. And Watchmen, we were supposed to read Watchmen, but I just couldn't. I got to the part where a kid at the newsstand is reading the story of a pirates and a castaway, and it just got so detailed and involved in the story, I just couldn't keep up with it. And V for Vendetta, I tried to read some of that, but again, it was just the amount of dialogue was, I couldn't slog through it. Now I did read all of Preacher. I'm really glad I didn't have to buy it, because wow, I bought a couple of them because the writing is epic, and the characters, so the dialogue, different characters had different accents that were written, and you could hear them in your head. And at one point, they have a Scottish, Irish, Cassidy is the vampire, and he had a thick accent. And at one point, he's trying to pretend to be from Texas. And so it is a Scottish, Irish accent, pretending to be a Texas accent. And so that writer did some amazing things. But everything was really, really gross in Preacher. And I heard, every once in a while, I'll hear a rumor that they're going to start a movie, and my reaction to they're going to start Preacher movie is, oh my god, don't let anybody find out that Preacher exists, or they're going to start burning comic books again, because it really does take a crack at most religions and stereotypes and deviancy. we had, let's see, so somebody had mentioned seeing Labyrinth. I worked at a summer camp, and they had at one point movie night, and they did, they were showing, what was it, Legend? It was with the guy from Mission Impossible. And he's still got his baby fat on him. He's just this young, round-faced, and Tim Curry as a devil that's the most amazing devil that has ever been on screen. Other than maybe the guy from Constantine, who is in German car commercials going, but that was the really well done, creepy devil guy from Constantine. So I met this summer camp, and we had this one little boy who was Dutch, who was there for like 3 months. And he comes out of the cabin where they're showing Legend, and he comes out shaking his head, and he goes, "That is a very, very weird movie." He was like, "No, I don't think I can stay." This kid was like 10. He was like, I don't think I can watch that movie. The goblins were really creepy, and I didn't quite understand most of it when I saw it. Let's see. So apparently there is a 1 to 2 minute delay from the YouTube recording versus and between the recording and the posting. Wow, that is quite a delay. So unfortunately, I shouldn't say this out loud. If some catastrophe happened, you guys yelling behind you isn't gonna work. Now I have to check behind me. So the last video recording, I kind of looked at a little bit of it, and the door behind me creaks open in the video. And then it creaked closed, and it happened again this time because I had asked him about the changing the resolution, and so he whispered at the door. He's like, "Is everything okay? I don't think I can help you with that." I'm like, "Oh no, it's fine, it's fine." And then I just realized the door is closed behind me. So yeah, in the beginning of this recording is a very creepy. Somebody coming in the room. I think that was a Castle episode. I feel like it was a Castle episode where I watch a lot of the crime TV, Bones, and the other one isn't quite crime TV. Was it Sleepy Hollow and Grimm? I need to get back to watch Grimm because the wolf is the best character ever. So there was a Castle episode where it's a bunch of kids streaming video with a guy in Antarctica, and the guy in Antarctica gets killed, and it turns out he was in an apartment downtown. But it's all the kids watching on the streaming video. So bad. This hand is not ideal. So apparently there is many delays. So there's still comments in the comment section about Labyrinth. The Labyrinth was re-released in a movie theater at one point. I got to go back and watch it in maybe after college or so. I did not realize that David Bowie's tights have a snakeskin pattern to them. Quite nice. Alright, so this is the panel where, save early, save often, where I say they're not special brownies, they just have pot in them. And so Obi gives me a sardonic smile. Haha, you got it there. Hopefully I've got the sardonic down. Okay, let me know if there's any questions, comments, concerns. I have one notification on Twitter. How do I access said live stream? Oh no! Oh no! Let's see if I can. I should not. Maybe Obi can send me a link to the live stream that can be sent to this lady on Twitter who needs to find the live stream. She posted it 13 minutes ago. I can do the link. I can do the link. Let's see. My apologies for the momentary delay. Respond. Twitter, I think. We'll see if that helps her. Okay. Oh, so story time. This one time at DragonCon, once upon a time, there's this cosplayer family. They did a full family of Dresden. I haven't gotten far enough in the series to know the characters, you know, the main guy, and then there was a blonde lady, and then they had their daughter dressed up as somebody specific that apparently was really creepy. And then he had, years and years ago, he had started a Goblin King Labyrinth costume. And I think at one point I was like, you know, oh my god, you have to come by the kilt blowing at DragonCon and in your Labyrinth costume. And so I was setting up, and one of the guys at the door says, hey, some guy's here trying to see you. He doesn't have a kilt on. He said you wanted him to come by. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. And they said, well, he's in some sort of Goblin King Jareth get up. I sit there for a minute. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we totally need him into the kilt blowing. And so I pull out my util kilt to lend out. My util kilt is a little bigger than it should be. I think it's about a 31-inch waist. And I'm trying to get this kilt on him, and he goes, but I'm a 34, and his wife and I are going, doesn't matter, we're going to get you into this kilt. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to take the tights off, because it defeats the purpose if you're wearing tights under your kilt. And he's like, but I don't have anything else under the tights. I said, that's okay. And his wife said, that's okay. And so we had a lot of fun. His wife took a video of it, and his wife is screaming in the background, show more legs, show more leg. You're sleeping on the couch tonight, damn it. Because he didn't show enough leg. And so the next year he shows up, and he's in the bright blue sparkly outfit, and he gets we give him a microphone, and he starts singing one of the songs, and I'm like, keep going, and he's like, that's the only line I know. And I'm like, I don't care, just repeat yourself, it's wonderful. And so the third year, it was the third or the fourth year, he showed up in his big old get up, and he's awesome, and his wife was in the full-on ball gown, that white amazingly epic ball gown. And I'm like, that ball gown, we need that on stage. We can't let that just go. And so when he comes up on stage, I jump off stage and I hand his wife the leaf blower. And so his wife can come on stage. And so they look amazing on stage together. What I didn't plan for, what I didn't then realize, was that his wife has no shame and went ahead and, because you can blow the kilts up, I just try not to. I try to have movement without exposure. She blew the kilt straight up. And yeah, it was, Goblin King has a lovely ass. I should save early, save often. Oh, okay, so people in chat are singing You Remind Me of the Babe. poor computer. Apparently it does not like live streaming. It's all winded. Okay. I hope that Angel was able to make it in. I forget where we were going. Whenever we go out, Obi will throw a pile of clothes into the wash and the dry so that he has something clean. All of his clothes are clean. He just doesn't put them away. And so so what was it? I go to get something out of the dryer, and it's about 2 or 3 pairs of jeans and all black shirts. And I realized that he really does have his uniform. He used to have white shirts also, but they all kind of got stained, and he ended up throwing most of those out. So he really just has black t-shirts and jeans. And I lie, he wears hiking boots, so we need to go get him some good tennis shoes or something. Okay, details. To make sure that the things in the foreground have really thick lines, and the things in the background have very thin lines, and so it pushes it back into perspective. I used to over-research. I think if I had been at my computer, I went down to the kitchen table to draw these so that I'd stay away from my computer when I penciled them. And I think if I had been at my computer, I would have looked up the Denver airport and then spent the whole time trying to get it to look exactly like the Denver airport and all the different little details, when all I really needed was just the big windows in the background with some planes taking off. Sometimes I over-analyze and I try to put too much detail in, and it ends up taking away from the comic. It's actually, the simpler it is, the easier you can get something across. We had a professor in college who would have, we were majoring in comic books, and he would have us play Pictionary. And I had my friend DJ was visiting at the time, and she was majoring in marine biology. And so and we won because we had DJ on our team, because every time an artist would go to draw a house, the artist would start with the white picket fence. And the time would run out, and you'd have no idea what they were trying to draw, whereas somebody who's not an artist draws a square with a triangle over it, and that's a house. So the artist will overanalyze something, when all you need to communicate something is a box with a triangle on it. So I really should have just simplified this airport. Okay, so it looks like we've got, let's say, 15 minutes left on the stream. We're going to go till 9. Because my neighbor at my house has been calling me, and I fear that that bodes ill. So I'm going to find out if my house is burned down. Okay. I used to think that people who had wheels on their luggage, and this was back in '95, I thought they were the laziest people. And now everything has wheels on it because the airports charge you for checked baggage and sometimes when you have carry-ons, so everyone's carrying as much stuff as they can with them. We saw this old black and white monster movie, and it starts out with the guy's on this airplane, and he goes up to the stewardess and he says, the lady in front of me has her light on and I can't sleep. Do you have one of those visors? And the stewardess says, oh, I know, no, we don't have a visor, but would you like a nightcap? Or no, I think first she offers him sleeping pills. So first she offers him drugs, and then when he comes back and he still can't sleep, she tries to offer him booze. Man, where did the 50s go? Maybe, yeah, it was about the 50s. And then when he gets off the plane, he goes up to a guy who looks like a valet, or a bellhop, and he gives the bellhop his a ticket, and the bellhop goes to baggage claim and gathers up all of the guy's bags and brings them to him, and the guy tips the bellhop. Travel was very different. I always think that the poor guys in the 50s would roll. They'd take issue with what air travel has turned into. Everyone brings pillows and wears pajamas. But I also think that nowadays people are also crammed in much tighter. Oh, I saw Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which, if you get a chance, is an amazing movie. It's, they're all talking about how, he's a black guy who's married a white lady. He's also like 37 and she's 19. They don't have a problem with that. And his parents are like, oh, you're back in the U.S. Well, we're gonna jump on a plane and come visit you. His dad is a retired mailman, and they put on their white gloves and their best clothes, their Sunday best, and they get on a plane to come visit him in L.A. or somewhere. It's these aspects of the movies that weren't they weren't a big thing when they filmed them, but that's become the thing that stands out. I went back and saw Clueless, and the joke is that these girls are so spoiled and wealthy that they all have cell phones and they talk on their cell phones between classes before they even, that they're walking around school and they turn a corner and they're walking next to each other talking on the cell phone to each other. And that's not as ironic anymore, or that's not as ridiculous and what's the word I'm looking for? It's not quite as extremely opulent as it was intended. Oh, good. Angel. Okay, Angel found it. I'm using, so Angel asked what kind of program I'm using, and Angel, I apologize for the, there's a 2 or 3 minute lag. I'm using Manga Studios. So I'll put the comic together in Photoshop. I like Photoshop's texting. It's when I write the text for the comic, Photoshop has a way where you can just make a box and it'll write the text within the box. Which Manga Studios, you have to adjust everything. It doesn't save very many of the preferences. But I like Manga Studios' brush sensitivity. I like their brushes more. And Manga Studios has a perspective, an automatic 3-point perspective, snap to ruler. I was watching Lars Ustream, and he was doing a skyline, and all of his lines were clicking to a grid, and I had asked him how he set up 3-point perspective in Manga Studios, and he stopped his drawing and opened up another screen and showed it to me. So that was pretty awesome. They also have, Manga Studios also has, you call it figures. So you can grab a figure of a guy or a girl, and then you can move around their arms and legs and perspective, and whether you can see, above the camera angle and everything. And so that's deceptively simple. You can spend hours just playing with getting the person in the right position and then drawing from that. And yeah, you can spend a long time on that. That leg is a little weird. I don't care. So Edward had mentioned that Obi only wearing, I'm assuming he had mentioned Obi only wearing a black shirt makes it simpler to decide what to wear in the morning. I heard that Albert Einstein only bought gray suits, so he wouldn't waste time trying to find something to wear in the morning. Serenity says the sneakers and tennis shoes are the devil's testicles. Well, he needs better boots. He's got some hiking boots, and I don't think that, you know, there's something wrong with them and they're actually hurting his feet. Which, you know, he doesn't go out much anyway, so that works. No, I dragged him to the mountain the other day to walk. We walk Kennesaw Mountain, and it always, he'll end up, you know, having hurt feet afterwards, and so we're trying to blame the boots. Okay, we'll do the background. Save early, save often. Alright, so I should change my brush size to make sure I have these thin lines for some of the detail work. Can't get too thin or they get lost. I realized during my last trip that I had the same carry-on, you know, we got it from Sam's Club, so I have the exact same carry-on as some of the other people. So I took a giant black marker and started writing my name all over it. Background, background. So Angel asked how often I do this live stream. Once a month. And I usually try to do it towards the end of the month. I'm traveling next week and the week after, so that's why I'm doing the live stream at this time. We're going to post, so we're going to try to remember to post on Devil's Panties the date. We usually do it about 8:30. I try not to do it on Friday because I think Lar has, for some reason I got it mixed up with Somer. Lar does a live stream as well, I want to say on Fridays. And so I'm probably going to do, let's see, I'm going to be really bad. Don't look. Okay, so let's say next month I go, that's at the end of the month. Okay, so let's say the 25th. How do we think about Wednesday the 25th for next month's live stream? I can do Thursday, the 26th, if that doesn't work for everybody. Gate 63. I'm doing a joke in the background with the gates. I'm going to have one gate be gate 4,835,000. I don't know about these seats. I'm going to cheat and just not have seats. I think that's going to get too complicated with everything in the background. Not touching the actual figures because sometimes that gets muddled. I'm not the best inker, so I cheat in some respects. Okay. So I have these word balloons. So I don't really have to do as much on the ceiling. Alright. Save early, save often. Serenity said, it hurts like exercise. That, I want to say the first time I used that phrase was after our first, I want a big kilt blowing when we got our own room, and we had all the guys line up, and I had a bunch, I have a bunch of people help me organize, all of the guys. Actually, I just try to show up with a leaf blower, and there's a huge amount of people who do the security of everybody coming in and the security of the guys who are lined up, and it's just so much work. And so we ended up having, 80 guys, and I kept kneeling down with a leaf blower, and then I'd stand up to shake their hand and say thank you, and I ended up doing 80 squats, which I don't do squats at all, and to do cold turkey 80 of them in one night, the next day, my legs wouldn't let me sit. I could either sit down or I could stand up, but I couldn't actually get myself from one to the other. So I kept going, oh my God, I hurt like exercise. But no, Obi's feet didn't hurt like exercise. Obi's feet hurt like something was broken. So we're blaming that on the shoes. Oh, one of my cheats with my template is that I've got a bunch of different backgrounds that I can use. I've got this this line, these lines that I think I'm going to use for some of the background. I need something here. I think this is going to be the gate number thingy. Gate number 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3. Obi had said, everything hurts me. I'm like Mr. Glass. Yeah. He's got good eyesight. Maybe that'll help the gene pool. His excellent eyesight. Let's see, is baggage with 1G or 2? Bag. I'm going to type it. Baggage. Come on. Nope, you're over here. Yeah. Wow, baggage has a lot of G's in it. Oh, nice. Angel said that she misses reading them, and she likes watching them being made. 2 G's. I need to figure out my... I'm a little sloppy tonight. My apologies. And yeah, I used to do a lot of octos and stuff. We tried to do Obi riding a horse, we're riding a unicorn, and I had trouble drawing that out. Okay, so the backgrounds that I have are, I've got these, this triangle, and I've got this arc. Obi gets on me for using the arc too much, so I think we're going to use the triangle. Move it around. The artist Georges Genty, who does a lot of like X-Men and he was working on Buffy for a while. He looked over my work and pointed out this technique of putting a shape in the background. Actually, I think I want... No, okay, never mind. Cancel. I want this to intersect with enough of these. Yeah, I think that's okay. And it brings all the panels together and breaks up the negative space. I don't know if I should use that line filter. Oh, I should take the arch out. Save early, saved often. So Obi's been bugging me about getting new rock boots, because mine already fell apart a couple of times, and now there's a hole in the sole. So when I went and played in the mud puddles at the Renaissance Festival, my feet got really wet. Okay, I want to break up this word balloon. I want to say that Strangers in Paradise did this a lot. He'd do a lot of word balloon play, having it break up into different panels and stuff. Okay, and I think I'm gonna do some of these tones. We noticed that so once upon a time, I would go and put my stuff into books, which when things are online, you can do all the colors of the rainbow, it doesn't matter. But when you go to print them, you're limited with the kind of colors you can use and actually tones you can use. We found that gray doesn't come out with printing very well. So that's why you have these either black or white, these different tones, zip tones and stuff. And so I use these lines to do shading. And we found that if the lines got too close together, they started getting pixelated when we tried to go to print. So I did thicker lines spaced out more so that I could get my file size on the computer down a little bit smaller, and also I can get it to be not as pixelated in the print books. This will push the background back a little bit with the change in texture, and a thicker line on the figures will bring them up to the foreground a bit more. I should put some red on the boots. I've had a lot of people think that the one red bit is from Sin City, but I actually took it from Hero Bear. I loved that just the bear's cape was the only red thing in the whole book. And originally, when I tried to start using color, I would just use, bright yellow and bright orange and bright blue. Oh God, it was horrible. And family members started calling me, going, stop coloring. No, these colors are terrible. And so then I pulled it back, and I want to say that's when I started just using just the red for the boots. Let's see, I'm going to keep the texture for the luggage, so I need to take away some of the texture around it so it sticks out a little bit more. There we go. I think that's okay. Have some of the glare in the windows. Oops, yes. Yeah. Okay. Now save early, save often. So Serenity said that's why they said the Hulk went from gray to green. It's easier to keep constant. Yeah, trying to see if I can remember anything having to do with the comic books and the printing, and that's, if you look at the magazines and the newspaper, the magazines and the old comics, all the color is just dots. And that's a lot of manga, is you get just a lot of dots. And it was actually, you'd get a sheet of dots that was kind of adhesive, and you would rub you'd actually cut them out and rub them. I never used them, but there's some vintage people who will go back and do a comic page like that. What was it? So we watched Penny Arcade's Strip Search. I tried to get in, and I got to the final before you got on the show, and they declined my application. But I loved that in one of the episodes of Strip Search, you know, they had that final draw thing where you have to go draw for the guys and be eliminated or not. And at one point, one of the ladies in the final, you know, match was like, I can't get this stuff right on the computer. God damn it. Can I just use a pencil and paper? And they were like, yeah. And so she takes everything off of the table and she just uses pencil and paper to draw her comic. And the lady at the other table is like, that's actually a really good idea. Is that an option? Can I just use a pencil and paper? They were given all this amazing technology to use to draw their final, you know, battle comic. And they both ended up just using a pencil and paper, and it came out wonderfully. It's a different feel. Okay, save. Okay, I think I'm up to date on all the comments and everything. So yeah, I think that, yeah, I'm coming up to the end. If you have any final questions, once this is done, we're gonna be done, and I'm gonna do another one for next month, towards the end of next month. So let's say the 24th. I'm gonna post on Devil's Panties. Oh, that's why that's weird. I forgot what shape this is. I have some extra down here. So I'm using the eraser. I have one layer is just white, and then the layer under it is the triangle that I drew. And so this way I'm using the eraser to take away the white layer. So if I mess up, it's not irreversible. I'll go a little cross-eyed with that one. I love it when one of the word balloons intersects with a figure, so I can do this white line around it that kind of makes the word balloon become the bubble around the figure. You know, I find joy in the simplest things. Alright, I should have another layer called color, which I don't, and I should make a layer color. If there's any final questions, comments, or concerns, I used to save one comic for the web, one comic at high resolution, and one comic of color of high resolution. Thank goodness for layers. Now I just have a color layer that I use. Which got the boots. My mom got me some really nice high-heeled boots in, well, my mom got me the first pair of boots for my birthday. And then when we were in England, we found a New Rock store, which there's only one New Rock store in the US in like Las Vegas. So we went to Camden Market and we found a couple of stores that had New Rock boots. And then we also had, and then they had an official store. I should put this up here. No, it's too big. So this is tomorrow's comic. And then, oh no, I'm using my pajamas. Stayed with me for this long. So we've got the boots. I took the laces off, and at one point on the way back from, I want to say, England, this bolt totally came out. And I've had some issue with bits of the all coming apart. This is why Obi desperately wants me to get new boots. I've got, it picks up a lot of dirt. I felt bad when I went to Canada. I was like, oh God, I ran around the Renaissance Festival and now there's a bunch of mud on my boots. They're not going to let me into Canada. These are the ones that I got in England. which I really do not wear them enough. I wore these for my wedding, except there's a bit, this bit chafes. I actually got a wound at one point from wearing them too much. So yeah, I need to update my New Rock boots. I think Laurel K. Hamilton has like tons of pairs. I'm envious. Okay. So I think I'm done. Make sure that I save. I'm going to save this without the colors showing so I can use it for the book in a year when I put it together. I am working on the book, book 8. It's going to be a couple of months. I have to draw all the extra comics and the cliff notes, and it's going to take a while. And then all the edits. Oh, we do a lot of edits. And I have a action saved that is DP, and that will save it at the right size into the right folder. And we actually have one thing that we use to compress it even more, so it's like a wee file, because I've got 4,000 comics up on the website. Is this the right? No, that's not the right folder. Okay, PNG, save that as RGB, that's fine. Close that. No, don't save it because that's the wrong file. And then I need to do a wallpaper for Patreon. Right now, this is the wallpaper that was from last month's. I think this month's. Oh, sorry guys, I don't have you on the right screen. Sorry about that. Dang. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So what was this that we use? Obi is amazing and has found everything out. Image Alpha. And so this will compress it down, and I have to make sure that I don't compress it too far. Take a look at the boots to make sure that they don't get too janky, which they are, a little bit too pixelated. So let's increase this file size a bit. That's better. See, now you're going to keep noticing whether things look more pixelated or not. Okay, yeah, save over that one. Ta-da! And now it is wee. It is 53 kilobytes, which I want to say before we started doing that, I have too many comics. The average file size was like, well, that's 90. Yeah, the average file size was like 180. I have lots of comics. Okay. So Angel asked where she can get a pair of the boots. They are online. There's a couple of. The shot editor is not available in this session. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what that meant. So where you can get New Rock boots, there's a couple of shoe stores around Atlanta who will carry some New Rock boots. They're hard to get a hold of because they're European. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. So you can, mostly I ordered mine online. If you can get your boot size in European sizing, newrocks.com, newrockboots.com, you can find a bunch of them. And then, New Rock website, that's where you can get them. Let's see. There's actually a pair that is like my normal flame boots with a stainless steel heel on itself that my friend Miffy in England has that I lust after. I almost tried to steal hers, but I knew that she would come across the ocean and get me. Wow, someone from Nottingham is here. I geeked out a little bit on somebody who had ordered something from Nottingham, and I went to ship their book to Nottingham, and I went, you mean like like the evil Sherwood Forest, Nottingham. My God, I'm blanking on Man in Tights. Robin Hood. I was like, really? Robin Hood? You know, Robin Hood? Nottingham? I'm being a ridiculous American. Let's see. So somebody said I wasn't, Edward said I wasn't overly emotional enough for a reality show. I don't know. Oh, poor Celtic Nuts. We're finishing. Sorry. We're going to be doing this again. I want to say the 24th. I'm going to post on the Devil's Panties to make sure to finalize it, and probably 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time that is for you. Oh, Celtic said Camden Market had a fire. I hope everything's okay. Because, man, no, everybody's really packed in there. Let's see, making sure I answer all the questions. So Angel said, congratulations on the marriage. We had our 2-year anniversary, and we went to the, so our first date was at J. Christopher's, and then when we got married, we had our wedding ceremony in the park where we had gone for a walk on our first date, and then we went to J. Christopher's for a wedding reception for lunch, me in the big old white dress. So we went back to J. Christopher's for brunch for our anniversary, because that's what we do. It wasn't as good as it was last time, so we ended up at the Flying Biscuit, because Flying Biscuit is awesome. Okay. Good night. I'm finished. I'm going to do this again next month, 8:30. Let me know if you guys have any. So I take questions on Patreon, is where I try to make the announcements, and then if anybody has any requests on what I draw, any octos or any specific drawings, I try to take the pre-requests over on Patreon. So I think that's about it. Thank you for joining me. The Angel Girls are on their way to my house, and I'll be able to ship them out to everybody on Kickstarter who had ordered them. So hopefully you're going to get your Angel Girl in the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you live. All right. So thank you guys so much, and you're awesome, and let me know if there's anything that can be improved upon, or if you had any frustrations or any suggestions on making this better. Or worse, you know, we could go naughty with it. I don't know if I might have overshared. I think I overshared. Thank you guys so much, and I am going to attempt to figure out how to turn this off. I think it's this button? Maybe?